Hello everybody. Today we're going to go over the process of diagnosing and replacing a faulty ignition switch in a riding mower, garden tractor, zero-turn mower, pretty much any type of outdoor power equipment. The process is the same in pretty much all of them. But we're going to use this Toro Z Master mower because I'm about 99% sure the ignition switch is bad in this. The backstory on this was I got done mowing the lawn at the church the other day, and everything was fine until I shut the machine off and I went to restart it. And I turned the key all the way, and the only thing I would hear is the fuel solenoid clicking on and off. And eventually I played with the key enough that I could find just the right spot where the starter solenoid would kick and the engine would turn over and start, but if I backed the key off into the run position, it would die. So after a few minutes, I figured out where I could hold the key to get it to start, where I had to hold it to keep it running, and then I just one-handed the controls, got the thing parked, and here it sits. So before you ask, yes, I did test the battery. Everything's fine. The voltage is fine in it. I don't know if you can hear or not, but tried to turn the key and we're still having the same problem. All we get is that fuel solenoid. So let's go ahead and pull this ignition switch out, test it, see if it is bad. Every machine is going to be a little bit different in how you remove the ignition switch. In the case of this mower, there's going to be 4 screws that we're going to take off, and this panel should come up. And if we remove this nut, we should be able to take the ignition switch off from the back. So let's go ahead and get these 4 screws out of here. And I am guessing by this large washer here in the corner that this panel has been off at some point. I happen to know just by checking the serial number on this machine that it's a 2004, so it's 20 years old. I'm not surprised that somebody's been behind this panel at some point in time. So the 4 screws are off. We take the key out of here. I can lift the panel up and just unplug the ignition switch. On this one, we've got a 5-prong plug, and then we've got a single. And then if we take this nut off, which is suspiciously loose, that's it. The ignition switch is out. So let's go ahead and do a test on it now. And I just want to put this back together so I don't lose it. And let's see if this is actually the problem. There's only really 2 things you need to test an ignition switch. You're going to need a multimeter because you're going to have to test for continuity. You want to find out if electrical current will pass through the switch when it's supposed to and not pass through it when it's not supposed to. And you'll need some kind of a diagram that tells you what the plugs on the back of your switch go to and which terminals are supposed to have continuity between them at different positions of the key. If you go online and you do like a Google search with the make and model of your piece of equipment and type in something like ignition switch or wiring diagram, you could probably find this information pretty simple. For the purposes of this video, I printed this out just so I wouldn't have to use my phone because I'm videoing with my phone, but I will put this image in a picture-in-picture up in the frame as we do the testing. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how that works. My multimeter is all set to the continuity setting with the little alarm. And I put my second lapel mic on the bench here next to my multimeter just so you can hear that tone a little bit better. So let's take our old ignition switch and let's run a test on it. So you see we're in the off position, that's on, and you can see the key's actually sticking in the start position, which not a good sign. So with the key in the on position, we are supposed to have continuity between terminals A, B, and I, and between X and Y. So let's test this out. So again, our audio is working pretty good on our multimeter. So between A and B, we've got nothing. Between A and I, we have nothing. And between B and I, we have nothing. Let's check between X and Y. We have continuity between X and Y. Well, there's one thing that's working well at least. Now in the start position, we are supposed to have continuity between B, I, and S. So let's check these two. I'm just going to hold them in place, turn the key to start. It's not the easiest thing to do one-handed. Oh, interesting. So if I took the key all the way to start, nothing. But as soon as I back the key off a little, now we have continuity. And between these two terminals, absolutely nothing. So we can pretty much conclude this ignition switch is a piece of junk. So since I was so confident what was going to happen, I went to the outdoor power store, the Toro dealer today. He had one of these in stock, so I grabbed it. It's the same key, and you can see that doesn't stick. So let's do the same test on the new switch. Let's put the key into the on position, and again, we're supposed to have continuity between terminals A, B, and I. So let's check between A and B, A and I, and B and I. That looks good. We're also supposed to have continuity between X and Y. That's good. And in the start position, we are supposed to have continuity between B, I, and S. So let's check between B and I. And again, we're supposed to have continuity there run too. So we're good there. And between S and B, we're good there. So this new switch passed all the tests. The old switch failed all but one. So we are now 100% certain that the ignition switch was the problem. So let's go ahead and install the new one. Let's see if that mower is going to run now. To put the switch back in, it's the same procedure we did before, only backwards. So we're going to slide the switch up and through the hole in the plate, put the lock washer and the nut in place. And yeah, these can be kind of a pain sometimes to get started. Use a crescent wrench just to tighten this up because the other one was loose. And I don't want it loose. So I'm not going to over tighten it. I'm just going to snug it. And then we're going to connect our single plug and our 5-point connector. And we're going to put this plate back on. That looks like it could be a lot of fun. Trying to get everything to line up here. Oh, maybe this isn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. Let's tighten these up. That's it. Our new switch is installed. Let's see if this thing is going to run. And that's all there is to it. Hopefully this video has helped you save a little bit of time and money repairing your machine. So thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on another episode.